of the podcast Got in the Motion. With me, the main host, Javor Ivanov, and with my favorite co-host, Kovrat Ivanov, more known as Scooby.
Hello everyone, and welcome to today's episode. Today, we are joined by a very special guest named Enio Kelsio. He is originally from Brazil and will be sharing some of his experiences and giving us a perspective from the change of life from Brazil to Ireland. So, hello Enio, how are you today?
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm very, very good.
That's great to hear. So, my father has the first question for you to open this podcast.
Sure. I have the honor to ask you the first questions, Enio.
You want me to introduce myself really quick? Just...
if you want.
Yeah. My name is Enio.
Yeah?
And I'm from Brazil. I'm living here in Ireland for 5 years now. Yeah, I first arrived here as English student. Now I'm on the college. And yeah, I'm doing my things, trying to get better perspective of the life, of the culture.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's basically it.
Yeah, of course.
Which part of Brazil you come from? I have the first honor to ask the first question. Which part of Brazil you from?
I'm from Northeast.
Northeast.
Yeah,
What is called the province?
This city is called Fortaleza.
Fortaleza is the main city.
This is the main city, the state of Ceará.
Sierra, okay.
Exactly.
Sierra, okay. So, my second question, you answered it. How long have you been in Ireland?
Yeah, 5 years.
5 years, okay.
5 years. The times fly.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know, the time flies very quick.
Yeah.
So, out of all the countries that you could possibly travel to, why was it Ireland out of all of them?
Actually, it's because Ireland is more receptive for foreigners,
Yeah.
I was thinking about leave Brazil. The things in Brazil was very hard.
Yeah.
And in Ireland, I could get opportunity to study English,
Yeah.
and at the same time, I was allowed to work.
Yeah.
So it was very important to me.
Yeah.
So that's the main reason I came to Ireland.
Of course. Yeah.
You know?
Well,
What it will come to your mind if they give you a choice, somebody give you a choice and said, you can bring, say, 2-3 things from Brazil in Ireland you miss the most? Apart of the family, of course.
yeah,
The family
maybe
is the most.
a cultural aspect or a certain
Or
food,
food.
tradition.
Climate.
Yeah, the climate. Actually, the climate, the weather in Ireland, despite of the rain and the cold, it's not too bad. I don't think it's too bad, no.
I think
Because
the same.
in my city it's very hot, like 32 degrees, 35 degrees, and I can't
so hot,
stand
yeah.
it, Yeah. So yeah, the weather is
It's
no.
okay.
Actually, I don't know because I like experimenting new things, and I like to introduce myself in new cultures and new foods, new perspectives of life. So in Brazil, I at least on my region, I know a lot of things. But when you arrive in another culture, it's like everything's new. Even take a bus or small things you do in your everyday life. It's new. It's something new.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, it's a new discovery. So
Yeah, you're here to discover new things, not to
Yeah.
bring something from Brazil. Not that you don't like Brazil, but
Yeah.
you're here to experience new things.
Exactly.
But would you have even one thing apart of the family that you say, it's wonderful here, a great experience, I like to see new things, but maybe I miss that one.
Yeah, I would say the food.
The food,
in
yeah.
Brazil is amazing, But at the same time, we have a lot of Brazilian restaurants in here.
Yeah, in Ireland, yeah.
So, you can't miss it that much, Is the food as good as in Brazil?
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, the Brazilian restaurants here.
You mean, no, it's not the same. It's
Not the same,
never-
that
it's
I
never
thought
the
so,
same.
yeah.
But yeah, it's good enough.
No.
Yeah, okay. And what would be maybe your favorite food or something that you've experienced in Ireland so far out of your 5 years in Ireland?
My favorite food, you mean in Ireland?
Yeah, something.
All right. It's because in Ireland they usually they eat basically tomatoes, you know. It's mashed no
Potatoes.
Potatoes, yeah.
Yeah.
mashed potatoes,
Yeah.
and fried
Boiled
potatoes.
potato.
But yeah, I love lamb,
Yeah.
lamb stew and shoulder, the soup.
Yes, yes. Irish are notorious for their
Yeah.
soups.
It's really nice. I think I'm thinking better. The best thing here for me is the shoulder.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the soup.
Well, going back to Brazil, what's the nightlife like in Brazil? Maybe for a tourist or a young person to go out, what would be some of the warnings, or what are you expected to see when you go out?
In Brazil at night, oh man. It's Brazil is very nice, especially at night. It has a lot of things to do, you know. Especially if you're going to visit Brazil,
Yeah.
it's the best, one of the best places in the world. The things in Brazil is just to live there is different.
Yeah.
But in Brazil, yeah, you can find nightclubs, you can find restaurants, you can find wherever you're looking
You'd
for,
like.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the things in Brazil, they don't close like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
like here.
Yeah.
You know? In Brazil, you
It's
can
all night. That's what I
All
was going
night
to ask you.
long.
Are they open all night?
all night long.
So the Brazilians know how to party and have plenty of energy to do it.
They usually go to parties at midnight, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in the midnight the party starts.
Exactly.
Here it's almost the end.
There are parties until when it's the New Year's Eve.
Oh.
Man, the parties all night long.
Yeah,
You know, especially on the beach.
Uh-huh.
The people going to the beach. There are concerts for free for people.
Okay.
And it's
Yeah.
all night, maybe 2 days straight.
Party.
They party.
Oh, that
Yeah.
sounds good.
Yeah.
I guess I'm too old for this kind of parties, even though I wish and I'm married. But so this young man should not worry if he goes to Brazil, he can party all night, or maybe
Yeah.
2 days if he's in the right time.
If you can't stand it, yeah.
Yeah. Now, as a tourist attraction, I know this might seem a bit, I don't know, strange to be asking, but the Amazon, visiting the forest, is that popular for tourists to visit, or would there be any like rainforest tourism where you could visit, or?
Actually, Brazil is very, very big country, you know. It's like from my city to Amazon is like 3 hours flighting.
Yeah.
So it's far.
I never have been there. I have relatives who lives over there, but myself I never have been there.
Yeah.
But the people said it's an amazing place.
Okay.
It's an amazing place to visit. It's an amazing place to be there, and
Now, what city they live your relatives in the Amazon?
Manaus.
Manaus. I heard of that.
Manaus, this
Hey,
main
just the
city.
city stops, ends, and the jungle starts, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Like the last, I have seen on the television.
Actually, the forest, is the forest is really big. You know, it's not just in Brazil. It's Brazil, Venezuela, maybe Bolivia. As
Bolivia,
well.
The Amazon is in a few South American countries, around Brazil as well.
Yeah.
But I think the most parts is in Brazil.
The most part is in Brazil, exactly.
And going back onto life in Brazil, is it difficult to find a job in Brazil? And is that one of the push factors on why people emigrate from there? Or
Actually, depends.
yeah,
This question depends. Right now, looks like the job you can find job easily than before. You know.
yeah.
So what you mean if you are foreign here? Or
No, just in general, you're growing up in
If you're
Brazil.
Brazilian, for
And
example.
is it tough to find a job that gives you that sustainable family life and that upbringing that you'd like to give
Or
to
it
your
depends
kids?
of the region, depends of the city.
It's depend of the city mainly, and the average is quite low. You know.
Yeah,
The employment is quite low.
Yeah, the average of the salary.
It's very low.
okay.
It's
yeah.
very low. Is if you convert, it's something like 300 euros per month. So
Yeah.
it's not
Very
enough.
low,
Don't,
yeah.
don't
Oh,
even.
no.
And just for our viewers, what currency is used?
If you are like a single guy, you live
Yeah.
there,
that's-
Yeah,
okay,
it's all
you're
good.
perfect. But if
Yeah.
you want to get
Family.
a family, you
Yeah.
have
Very,
to.
very small. Yeah.
And what's the currency that's used in Brazil?
Brazilian real.
Real.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that concludes my episodes. On to my father.
Now, I can't escape politics. I love talking about politics, and I'm going to ask you, what do you think of Luis? I don't know if I'm going to pronounce it right. Luis Inácio Lula da Silva, or more known as Lula. As I know that what I read, that the man, and I heard of him a lot, that before he went to jail, he helped 20 million poor Brazilians to escape extreme poverty. That really he's a left wing, and of course he brought a lot of social justice. That's what I've read and I hear from a lot of people. And he kind of reborn after his jail sentence, and he was re-elected again. So it's a very interesting persona, and interesting how he ruled Brazil. But I like to hear from you. What do you think of Lula?
Yeah, I think he's a great president, you know. And yeah, the first time he went on the jail, you know, he was quite of like they were trying to take him off the running for the election. That's why it was.
They brought him to court, so they will be out of the way of the elections.
That was the main reason, you know, and because they know if he would run the elections, he would win.
They said that's the only way to stop him.
Yeah. Then Bolsonaro became president, and then was, I think, on my point of view, was a catastrophic
Presidency of Bolsonaro.
And now I think the things is
Getting better.
but you know, Brazil is a very big country, so always have something to improve.
Yeah, and the population getting bigger. I look at the statistic 2022, because it was 215 million. Now it's over 217.5 million people. So it's not easy to run such a big country. And
Exactly. It's very complicated. And right now, the south of Brazil were on floating, you know, was many rains and this kind of thing. And right now is very complicated. The things going on in Brazil. You know, but it's everything gonna settle up soon. Gonna get better, I think. I hope.
Okay. And the next question is, what is the three things for you that symbolize Brazil? As a symbols of Brazil, you come straight to your mindset. My country symbolizes these three things, are the most outstanding in my mind, representing Brazil.
Brazil.
Football, maybe, for its sport.
Yeah, for sports, football. The forest.
Yeah.
You know, is
It's amazing and unique.
exactly. It's unique. The football and of course the music.
Yeah.
Music.
Especially some
Lambada in Bulgaria was very popular in our country. Lambada, I even can dance a bit of lambada, believe it or not. He saw me how good I dance. That's another question. Here another question I want to ask you about, because it's very interesting that in the Brazilian constitution a few years ago it was issued to be pursued the happiness of the people, and I think they took it in board, and now it's part of the Brazilian constitution. And my question is two parts of it. Has two parts. My question. First is, what for you it's happiness, and the second part of the question is, what do you think is happiness for the Brazilian people in your view?
Oh man, it's so tricky question because for every person
very abstract, I
yeah,
know.
it's unique. You know,
Uh-huh.
what is happiness for me maybe it's not the same for
And
another
for the others,
person,
yeah.
you know? So yeah, for me, I don't know. I like experimenting, like trying new things. I feel myself alive. New, no new cultures or
Yeah.
everything like that. And and learn. I like to study. I like to learn new things, and it keeps me going on. You know, I feel
That's make you
myself
happy. The
alive.
studying, learning,
Yeah,
meeting
but
new people.
yeah, but for all the Brazilians,
It's hard to say.
It's hard to say. For
But would you say the Brazilians are happy if they had enough food on the table,
Yeah.
enjoying life, music,
Or the crime
dancing?
rates, or the crime rates to drop more, which would
It's
kind of bring in
because
a.
it's because in Brazil right now the population are like many of them are making comparisons like with their lives right now and the American lifestyle.
Okay.
So the most of them thinks the happiness they're gonna find happiness if they have the same lifestyle of like
Material
It's
things,
sort of
big
the
house.
American dream.
American dreams.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
think if they have a big house, a nice car, you know, and yeah, they mentality
Yeah.
like
This change.
is
they
going
look at
that way, you know, and I think the only thing that could make they change their minds is like a good education, you know,
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
that.
Because it's very easy to look at the American dream, even just in general, and say, well, that's wonderful. But even in America, it's not pursued fully. You still have ghettos.
Yeah.
Just like in Brazil, you can compare them to the favelas. There's high crime rates. 1/3 of the population is on coupons for food in America, and 48% of adults are obese in America. So it also kind of, you can question it with that education, as you say, and the more you know, you can question how tangible the American dream is and what would be Brazil's American dream, because the issues that Brazil has, I would like to postulate that it would be different to the ones in America,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and I also remember the recession 2008. Brazil wasn't affected by the recession, and Brazilian people, in the context what you're saying, the Americans were waiting for the Brazilian tourists to come and buy the runners, the clothes, to get the money from Brazil, because they were pursuing what you're saying, this change of mentality, the American life. I want Jordan, for example, runners, I want a jersey. But you know what, in this context, his aunt, my sister-in-law, traveled more than 50, I think 50 or more than 50 countries. Her name is Mina, and she said that I asked her, where did you meet the most happier people? You know where? She said, Nepal. And Nepal is one of the poorest countries.
Yeah.
She said they were so happy. They didn't care about it. They didn't have the latest car. They didn't care about the t-shirt they're wearing is maybe 20 cents, but they were the happiest people she ever met. So it's very, how you said, abstract what is happiness. I think it depends on the mindset.
Yeah.
If you think
Depends on
material
that.
things make you happy, but well, I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
it give you a very short time live happiness, the materials things, because I think the most happiness, in my opinion, is you can't see it. That's love, that's togetherness. When you don't bother yourself too much with material things, they're important, but I don't think they're
Yeah.
most important.
It's not the most at all.
Would you think that maybe in Brazil, for having and wanting that new house, maybe it's coupled with the sense of peace and safetyness from the...
It's because Brazil, like the people are like bombed with a lot of advertisements, you know.
Yeah.
And especially the last. I'm gonna talk about it. I don't want, but I'm.
You
No,
can say
you don't have to.
forever, yeah.
The last president Bolsonaro, he used to use like America as like
Example.
of
Yeah.
well society, you know. If people should live like then, you know, the law should be the freedom, that kind
Yeah,
of
the
freedom.
liberal mind, yeah.
We know it's not freedom at all.
Yeah.
And this kind of especially on the business, you
Yeah.
know, the market,
Yeah,
the
an open economy. Yeah,
open economy, minimal state, you know.
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, and the people are they buy this
Yeah.
idea, you know. And right now it's quite
It's rough.
But,
Yeah,
but you look, I study about homelessness in my PhD, and I compare Europe, Bulgaria, Ireland, and United States. And one thing I can say for a fact, American social system is terrible. It's very bad for poor people. If you're poor in America, more likely you stay poor, and your children will stay poor because you won't have money for education. And without education, you can make any progress in your career or earnings.
especially for healthy.
Yeah.
For our even health
calling
health,
an ambulance in America can
even
cost
health
you up to
service you can afford
$2,000.
it. A health service you cannot afford it if you don't earn a good amount of money, because we're talking about thousands of dollars. So when people selling this American dream, it's great that they have that dream, and maybe they try to sell it abroad outside of the United States, and some people like Bolsonaro maybe try to sell it as well in their own country. We have to think twice about that. You know, as I know the social system in the United States, I don't think it's and health system and so on. It's the best example.
No. But you always have the surface at the top, and then behind what that idealized image of life is, you have the real day-to-day life.
Yeah,
Because we watch these films, American films, huge houses, big jeeps on the front.
The yards,
but even
the
though
barbecues.
most of them will work 3 jobs, they don't have time to enjoy family life. They don't have time. And once they lose the job, they lose the car, they lose the big house. There is no social justice. Like, for example, in Greece, if you're a poor person, poor or middle class, and you bought a house, and of course, if you're not rich, you can buy up to 200,000 euros, and the state guarantee you that if you lose your job, or you have a poor health, say cancer, or you have a heart attack, you can't work anymore, the state pay for that. In America, it's not like this. In America, they take your house. The bank doesn't care if you're sick, if you lost your job, they come and take the house. So in a lot of ways, I think America is not a good example, and maybe we have to create in Brazil or the other.
Actually, I think it's the worst example, you know.
Oh yeah, it's very bad example.
Yeah.
In the films they don't show you the
It's
poor
the
people.
best example for few people, just for
Yeah,
few people.
very small
Just-
amount of people.
For
Yeah, but as you
in
said,
general.
all of this thinking, all of this analysis can only come from knowledge and an education system.
No,
So it's all the start of this. Well, shifting away from that side of the questions. Now maybe for a more humorous question.
all right.
What's the national drink in Brazil?
The national drink,
Or
yeah.
one of the big homemade drinks in
Typical
Brazil?
from Brazil.
Where,
It's very. In Brazil, we make like. There are many branches of cachaça.
yeah,
Cachaça.
cachaça.
And depends of the region, you know. On my region, there's one called Ipioca.
Ipioca. I
Yeah.
heard of that one. Ipioca, yeah.
It's very.
But it's a cachaça.
very
It's a
good.
type of cachaça.
Yeah. There are many types. There are white ones. There are gold ones. And
For what is made cachaça? From different things.
No, the same thing. Sugar cane.
Sugarcane.
Made from
Brazil is
sugarcane.
good for a grow sugarcane.
Yeah, and we used to make caipirinha. Yeah, caipirinha is very nice. It's one of the best.
Well, I have to say I tried cachaça and I quite like it. I haven't tried many times, but hopefully I will live long enough and I try them all.
and in Brazil it's not. Of course, we made in Brazil, so it's not that expensive, you know. But here in Europe,
It's very dear.
Yeah.
The taxes. and
It's
everything.
the exportation costs in America in Ireland. They've also are bringing up the taxes on alcohol. So that always
Especially if the percentage of the proof of alcohol is higher, the taxes are higher.
for each percent you pay more tax.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So cachaça is around 45.
There you go. That's why it's expensive.
And in terms, you said different regions, different types of cachaça.
Yeah.
What is it? The difference in the degrees? What's the taste? What separates one cachaça from another type of a?
Basically the branch, because all of them are made from the sugar cane.
Yeah.
For me, it's all the same, you know. But but depends. They usually live on the cachaça, like resting for a year, 2 years, 5 years.
Yeah,
and
it's
now
like the wine is getting
wood tunnel, you know, big wood tunnel.
special.
How many more years it rests, more expensive is
And
the
it's better
cachaça.
than cachaça.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Okay.
would you say the homemade cachaça is better than the factory made one?
It's because the way they produce the cachaça is very it's crafting. It's like very homemade, you know.
The homemade is better.
Yeah. The way they make it is they make the old ways. Of course, they have more technologies nowadays, but they used to make like the old ways.
Do you think it's because they want to make as much cachaça as possible so that they can sell it?
I don't think, because anyway, even the cheapest one have to be like at least 1 year on the tunnel, you know.
Okay.
So they can't like just make the cachaça and put on the bottle and put to sell. They still have to at least 1 year to rest.
Yeah. So is that why even when you buy cachaça, maybe it's not as good as the homemade one, but is that why it has a standard?
Yeah, gonna have at least 1 year.
Okay, that's interesting. You don't see
Yeah,
that with a lot
interesting.
of alcohols.
So the plants, the agriculture mainly in Brazil, it's sugarcane, yeah?
Yeah.
When it comes to agriculture.
Yeah. Sugarcane, rice, coffee.
Coffee, of course, coffee. In Bulgaria, the most famous coffee is called Nova Brasilia. It's the most famous. And also, I don't know why it's coming to my mind when you say Brazil. When I was a kid, there was a film in Bulgaria, series, you know. It's called The Slave is Aura. And I was a kid, and when this film starts, say 7 o'clock, I'm from the capital, everything goes silent. Until the film is finished, and it was the most famous film in Bulgaria. And of course it was happening in the countryside, the big fields of sugarcane. This Leoncio was the owner and the landlord, and he was a bit kind of bad guy, you know. Not a little bit, he was a bad guy, you know.
Did he fell in love for the
It's Aura, yeah.
Right,
Do you know it? Maybe you heard.
It's very
Very old, but I remember this Brazilian film when it comes to Bulgaria. Just the life stops when this film starts, you know. And it was a good film, you know, a good story. Maybe now will be too boring for the new generation, but the story was behind it was good. The poor, the rich, showing
was a soap opera or it was a film? A soap opera. Yeah, Brazil is really good at soap opera.
So
Yeah, well, that concludes our episode. Thank you very much for joining us.
No problem.
thank you very much, Enio.
Pleasure.
And to anyone that also enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you want to see more content from us, hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell to be notified when we post new content. Thank you very much, and we'll catch you in the next one.